Which affordable field watch should you have in your collection? After all, there are hundreds, if not thousands of them, with almost every watch brand on the planet offering their take on this legendary watch. Some of them are true to original and built to military specification, but some approach the design in a much more playful way. My aim with this video is to find you the perfect field watch that fits your needs. So today we'll be going through 20 incredible field watches that you need to check out. If you're on a super tight budget, this is where I'd go. There's a few different options by Seiko's subsidiary brand Loris when it comes to the field watch. The best is the Loris Titanium. However, that watch has risen in price quite a lot over the past couple years. So I'd actually now recommend the other version. This watch is known as the Loris LumiBrite Field. That's right, Seiko has splashed some of their famous lume on this watch. But they haven't just splashed it, they've filled the entire dial with it instead. This Loris watch comes with a dial that lights up like a nuclear reaction when the lights go out. Another super budget pick is the Timex Expedition Camper. This one is a step down in the spec department in comparison with the Loris, but it's likely a lot easier to find around the world than that Loris watch. It's incredibly basic in construction, but it delivers on the field watch look for less than a night at the movies. The party trick on the Camper is the famous Indiglo technology. A simple push of the crown reveals the dial in all of its glory, a feature that you'll only find on quartz Timex watches. The first mechanical watch on today's list comes from Vario with the 1945 D12. This is a field piece directly inspired by the Dirty Dozen watches from World War II. Vario, as always, has put their own spin on this design though, embossing their logo into the textured dial. This is one of the only affordable automatic field watches you'll find around that comes with a small seconds register, with most using the standard 3 central hands instead. This is one of the more true to original designs that you'll find in the affordable market. If you need a field watch with genuine military provenance, then you need to check out CWC. Their most affordable model, the G10, was supplied to the British military for 28 years. During this time, over 200,000 G10s saw ownership by military personnel. Although this model is no longer supplied to the British military, CWC still builds it to military specification, the exact same way they did for that 28-year period. This is very much a British brand, but their watches are built in Switzerland to ensure quality. Therefore, they do feature the Swiss-made stamp. If you need a Seiko in your collection, then check out this under-the-radar model. This one is from the old-school Seiko 5 range and is becoming increasingly rarer to find. However, you still can find a brand new one for under $200. Notice the stepped dial on this piece, with the outer dial being slightly raised above the center. Now the movement in this one is a little bit outdated. It doesn't feature hacking or manual winding. It still has good specs, but more importantly to some, it comes with the famous Seiko name on the dial. We're nearly at 25,000 subscribers. If you've not already subscribed, I'd love for you to. Just down there. Thank you. I couldn't possibly make a video on affordable field watches and not include Hamilton. Yes, I know, super boring pick, but the Khaki Mechanical is one of the most popular when it comes to this category. But really, I think the Khaki Automatic is actually the better watch. It offers a slightly more dressy look and feels much more modern. The automatic movement does offer a less romantic experience, but let's be honest, the movement is easier for everyday life with the date complication. You also get a decent bracelet on this version too, which absolutely makes the watch more versatile. This next watch is the complete opposite to that Hamilton. This watch by Vario is unique and offers something that's a little bit different. It's like Vario put the field watch design in a tumble dryer with a Cub Scout uniform, and this is what popped out. This watch features a bear wearing a cowboy hat up at the 12 o'clock. Insane, yes. Fun, yes. It still features all of the usual field watch elements and has a great spec sheet to back it up. Although this looks like a bit of a novelty, this is a serious field watch for an enthusiast who values originality. Now, if you want a field watch that has a unique K-shape, then check out this stunner by Undone. It still has the typical design cues you'd expect with a field watch, but the tortoise K-shape really throws a spanner in the works. Also notice the Undone branding moved down below the 6 o'clock marking, which means the watch offers that sterile dial look. The case also features a mixture of polished and brushed surfaces, giving this basic design a nice contemporary twist. And as usual with Undone, you can customize this watch to your taste with different hands, colors and straps. Like CWC earlier, Marathon is another watch brand with genuine history in the military department. This time though, supplying watches to the US Armed Forces. And unlike CWC, Marathon still provides watches to the military to this day. The field watch line, called General Purpose, has a range of different watches. watches, with a choice of movements, case sizes, and case materials. One thing that is a constant though is the use of tritium tubes. These tubes are filled with radioactive gas that will glow regardless of charge. These are lightweight, smaller watches that are built to military specification. If you want maximum personality, then this next watch is definitely for you. This fairly new release by Studio Underdog completely flipped the switch on what you'd expect from a field watch design. These flamboyant watches still feature classic military elements, with the Arabic numerals and rail track on the outer, but the bold use of colours and sapphire dial construction adds a heavy slice of energy. Now this is one of the hardest field watches to actually get hold of, as you have to join the waitlist and pre-order. But if you manage to get your hands on this one, you have one epic looking timepiece. Back to something more classical. If you want an affordable micro-brand piece, check out the Field Watch range by Fear. I won't suggest one specific model here because the whole lineup looks great for the money. You get a choice of movement, solar, quartz, automatic, and a choice of size with 36mm or 40mm. They start at a staggering $179 for the quartz version, with some of the versions even offering USA assembly. My favourite is probably the C5 Korean Field, as the dial design is offering something just that little bit different. All of the field watches that we've featured today have been based around the World War II era of design. However, the original field watch was actually the trench watch. This was a modified pocket watch worn on the wrist in the trenches during the First World War. This watch by Vario offers the look of the original trench watch, with oversized numerals, cathedral hands, and an enamel dial. The legibility on this watch is absolutely insane, and you'll be able to read the time with the quickest of glances. The case shape is a little bit funky, and the watch does have fixed lugs, but this is a super cool watch. Now if you're after a field watch that has a dressy aesthetic, then this one by SWC is one of the best. SWC pretty much exclusively focuses on creating the best possible field watches, and if you want something more classical, then check out their catalogue. But for my pick, for something slightly different, is the Hyper G. This is one of the only field watches I've ever seen that has a sunburst finish on the dial. Combine that with the polished elements of the grade 5 titanium case. Yes, polished titanium. And this ticker has a bit of flash that you don't usually see on a field watch. This next one is the only Chinese brand to feature on today's video. If you want the best value for money, then Baltany is the place to go. My favourite is the Bronze Field. Yes, this is an affordable field watch featuring a bronze case. This will of course patina over time and leave the watch looking super cool. Your $200 gets you an insane spec sheet with this watch. Manual wind movement, sapphire glass, and of course that bronze case. You don't get much brand cachet with this Baltany, but you get a super cool watch for the low price. Now I couldn't only feature a Seiko from the old school Seiko 5 range, as they still make some super sharp new field watches too. My pick would be the new Field GMT range, and this is offering that classic Seiko field watch design with the added GMT complication. Now I personally love the white variant, and this watch will be a proper strap monster. But the non-GMT versions of this watch are also great, and there's a lot of choice when it comes to dial colours. And let's be honest, you can never go wrong with a Seiko. One incredible micro-brand field watch, known for its near-perfect looks, is the Kuo Old Smith. I reviewed the 35mm version last year. Now the main complaint by enthusiasts was that watch was a little bit too small. Since then, Kuo has released a new 38mm version that I'm sure will be a lot more popular. Also, they've released a 35mm bronze version that is possibly one of the best looking field watches on the planet. Now these are a little bit more expensive than some of the other watches that we featured, but these are made in Japan watches and they are bloody beautiful. The only field watch on today's video that features some added complications is this one by Orient. The Defender is a bit of an old model now, but it's still a good one. It doesn't feature your typical Arabic numeral layout, instead uses baton indices filled with lume, but the standout feature is the day of the week indicator, the 24-hour subdial, and the date complication packed into this watch, which is something that you don't usually see from a mechanical watch at this sort of price. You don't get the classic field watch look, but you get some cool mechanical complications instead. One super underrated field watch is made by Boulder. This watch brand produces a range of different watches under the Venture name. These watches feature a case shape that you won't find from any other field watch offering. They have a hidden lug construction, with the case of the watch looking like a sports piece. However, the dial design and specifications make this one a proper tool watch. The 200 meters of water resistance and titanium case makes this one a real standout for the price. One of the more true to original field watches in this category is made by Bulliver. The dial design is super vintage and even features the teardrop hour hand. I do think that this watch lacks a bit of personality that a lot of the other watches on this video have, but getting a big brand name like Bulliver on the wrist with an automatic movement is always super appealing. The main downside to this watch is the awful 30 meters of water resistance. What's going on there? So although this watch does look like a proper tool watch, whatever you do, don't get it wet. Now in terms of quality, I've saved the best till last. This is British brand Christopher Ward's take on the field watch. This piece arguably comes in at the perfect size of 38mm. It features a Swiss automatic movement that's regulated to chronometer standards, and in my opinion, it's up there with the very best looking field watches on the entire market. It is the most expensive watch that we featured today, mostly because of that COSC certified movement, but if you want the best in class, then I can't think of many better. If you've still not made your mind up on your next watch purchase, then first of all, what are you doing? But don't worry, I'm here to help. Check out my video on 10 hidden gem watches that you need to check out. Go on, treat yourself. I'll see you over there. Bye for now.